What's up, guys? This is the Power Up Mushroom, and I kind of wanted to get into some news today, specifically talking about the PlayStation Store reopening or like not closing at all in the future. And I do have some quotes to, quote from other people and from Jim Ryan himself. So yeah, the PlayStation Store, it's not closing, which I will say right off the bat, that's great. It's great to see that the store isn't closing. We all have extra time to get our games, but I also want to talk about the possibility of this not being a genuine move from PlayStation. I felt like this was planned from the very beginning, and I did tweet this out like a couple days after I posted the video of like the PS3 game or my PSN ran or games to buy from the PlayStation Store before it closes. And I did say on one of my tweets on Twitter that I did feel like this could possibly be a way to make a quick buck off of a dying platform, specifically the PlayStation 3. And sure enough, I feel kind of strongly about that now. Also, there was another tweet from someone else, Alpha Megasin. If you guys haven't heard of him, I mean, you probably have. He was a pretty famous ranter back in the day about the video games, and he tweeted out this: Sony keeping the PS3 and the Vita storefronts alive and well isn't out of goodwill towards fans. Make no mistake, the large influx of sudden digital sales on each and increased searches online made business sense to profit a little while longer and try to gain a good easy PR in the process. And he's right, because really, if you could think about the meeting where they go in the the room and just say, hey, we're going to close on the PlayStation Store, they had to have discussed this. Like, the worst case scenario that they could have, that they would have said, like, hey, you know what, worst case scenario, we close the store, people don't like it, they get mad at us, but then out of our goodwill, we say we're not going to do anything, and then it makes us look good. And that's kind of like what I'm seeing now, because everybody right now, everyone's praising Sony. I have not seen anybody mad or anybody mention this, and this is something I thought from the very beginning, because in the business world, it's all about money. And what they just did, hey, they made a whole bunch of sales because of all the videos that people made of, like, hey, games to buy before the store closes. I did one myself because there's always that possibility the store might close, and I want to give people enough time to buy stuff. But they did that, and then once they made the sales, it was probably a couple weeks where people are just rushing to buy stuff. That's a good one paycheck, for people if you get paid bi-weekly, or two paychecks if it's weekly. Yeah, it was a good move to do that, and now they just made it their quick buck. They came out and said, hey, we're not closing the store anymore because you just gave us money. And that's kind of where I see it. So I'll go ahead and I'll quote what Jim Ryan said on this forum or news on Polygon. So Jim Ryan states, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here, which obviously you did. I'm pretty sure you knew that from the beginning. When we initially came to the decision to end purchasing support for the PS3 and PlayStation Vita, it was born out of a number of factors, including commerce support, challenges for older devices, and the ability for us to focus more of our resources on newer devices where a majority of our gamers are playing on. Ryan said, we see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing classic games on PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future, so I'm glad we were able to find a solution and continue operations. Now, come on, it's the PlayStation 3. It's not that old. Granted, you could say, oh yeah, from 2006 all the way to now, but that's 15 years almost. No, that is 15 years, and yeah, but you got to think the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 were one of those. It's one of the first consoles where hey, you could purchase games online, you could purchase arcade games, mini games, everything was digital. It was going to that digital age, but also a lot of stuff came out during that time, a lot of indie games, and it seems kind of weird to wipe all of that out, of existence almost. I know it's happened in the past before with the Dreamcast, and any other consoles that had connectivity. I believe the Sega Genesis did too at one point. But it was never as big as this. So you can't just come out and say this was just something that they saw that they wanted to make money off this thing. But so it looks like we did buy ourselves some time to buy, to continue purchasing on the PlayStation 3 and Vita. I don't think you guys should stop buying from there. That's not what I'm saying. If anything, I think we should continue, like maybe a month, just drop a couple bucks in there, because you know, just it's gonna go down eventually. Because obviously this is in their radar, and I do believe that this doesn't change Jim Ryan's mind that, you know, video games look like I still think that he doesn't care. But anyways, that kind of wraps it up. I don't want to go too long into this because I have other stuff to film. But remember to like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description to get the One Up Talk Show on Spotify, Pocket Casters, Google Podcasts. It's all there in the link for you guys. And remember, guys, when you guys are gaming, power up.